Good evening.
Good evening.
Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the roll, please.
Rhodes?
Yes. Here.
Spinks? Here. Cochee?
Here.
Mezak?
Here.
Janutus?
Here.
Fluharty?
Here.
Saunders?
Here.
All right, Council, you have the minutes of the work session of October 15th, 2018. Any corrections to that? Seeing none, can I have a motion for acceptance? By Mezak, second by Rhodes. Call the roll.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks? Yes. Cochee?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
And you have the minutes of the regular meeting of October 15th, 2018. Any corrections to that? Seeing none, can I have a motion for acceptance? By Spinks, second by Janutus. Call the roll, please.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
And you have the minutes of the budget work session of October 22nd, 2018. Any corrections to that? Seeing none, motion for acceptance by Saunders, second by Rhodes. Call the roll.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
And you have the minutes of the budget work session of October 29th, 2018. Any corrections to that? Seeing none, motion for acceptance by Fluharty, second by Janutus. Call the roll.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mezak?
Abstain.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Under old business, we have ordinance number 9646-18.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 8934-12, section 110503, entitled Rental Rates for the Ellenwood Recreation Center and declaring an emergency.
Can I have a motion for suspension by Rhodes, second by Bezak. Call the roll.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Mike?
Yeah, this is just along with a lot of the other various policies and procedures that we've been reviewing. This is one of the other ones that we reviewed. We looked at what other centers had as far as their rates, hours, residents, non-residents, and we've made the adjustments attached.
Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9647-18.
An ordinance allowing employee participants to make insurance plan premium contributions on a pre-tax basis for the calendar year 2019 through wage works and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
And motion for third and final by Rhodes, second by Saunders.
Yeah, this-
Mike, or Frank?
The POP plan, as we refer to it, is basically a tax-deferred premium insurance for hospitalization only. Per union contracts, it's one of the requirements of their benefits, as well as for all city employees who have health insurance to have that tax-deferred. That's what we're approving a plan to do that in your federal regulations. IRS.
doesn't change pay or nothing else?
No,
You just
it
get
does
it
not
pre-tax
change.
dollars?
Pre-tax dollars and tax exempt on the
Been doing it for
premium
years.
payments, yeah. It's in all the union contracts to require this to be done.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Skeets,
Yes.
Cochee,
Yes.
Mezek,
Yes.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders.
Yes.
And we get to reports. Mr. City Manager.
Just want to mention that we do have multiple leaf crews are out, they're going through the city. As of last week, we had 2 crews out, but that'll most likely increase over the next couple weeks. So if you can get those leaves to the tree lawn, we'll be making our rounds to get them collected. Again, we will get around to it, and we'll hit every area of the town multiple times, so if for some reason we miss, we will be back around to get them. I wanted to mention that we did finally, even though our grant was approved back in March, the demolition funds finally went through Board of Control with the county. So those funds were released to the land bank, and the land bank is working with us to take down multiple residential structures that have been vacated and abandoned and declared a nuisance and condemned, as well as the former Moonglow site. We've asked for that site to be pushed up to the top, and there's some legislation later on that will reference that. So hopefully we'll get some movement there very quickly. Throughout the year, if we ask residents if you would see a street light out, you can call it in. We can have an officer check it. If you so happen to get the number on the pole, that's obviously beneficial to us because we can call that in right away, and we do that regularly. If you would call that in. However, multiple times a year we send out our patrols in the evening, and they go out and they'll look to identify lights that are out. They create a list and they send that out to First Energy for those repairs. We're actually in the process of doing that now. Our police department is doing that, so we'll be sending out a fall list of those lights that are out. As you know, we pay for those lights regardless if they're on or off. So if you see one out and you happen to get it, let us know. You can call it to city manager's office, or you can contact the service department, and we'll definitely send that information in. One of the things that the city's looking to do is we're looking at funding to address some of the signage throughout town. This signage could be entrance and gateway signs to wayfinding signs, signage downtown for public parking, public restrooms. One of the things that we're doing is we're working with a company who has done similar programs with Kent, University Circle, Lakewood, all of those cities. And we released a online survey that will help them as they put together a plan for us. Our idea is we're going to utilize that plan to go after various grants that are available. If you get a chance, go to the city's website. You can go to the city's Facebook page. That survey is listed on there, and you can go on there and put it, enter in the information. I think it's only about 15 questions. Should not take that long, and it should be up the rest of the week. And lastly, I just want to acknowledge Officer Mike Scavo in the fire department, as well as Officer Sean Allred with our police department. They were voted as Officers of the Year by their peers. And there was an event this past Saturday where they were acknowledged, 2 outstanding individuals, great assets to the department. But I also want to commend both the fire department and police department. Those guys and gals they're jamming on a daily basis, and they do so with extreme professionalism. They're well trained. Some of the best in the county. They are the best in my mind in the county, and it's an honor to work with each of them every day. And I wanted to take a minute and commend not only both the departments, but specifically these 2 officers. And I also wanted to publicly thank the Eagles Club. They donated $5,000 to both, $5,000 to the fire department and $5,000 to the police department to go towards improvements that they would need, as well as they made donations to our local food bank. So we appreciate the Eagles' tremendous partnership over the years. And again, just congratulations to those two individuals. Well deserved.
And also the ladies auxiliary, which gave 500 to each department. So they've given thousands and thousands. I'm guesstimating over 200,000 to our departments over the years they've been doing this. It's just a fantastic support we get from the Eagles, and we certainly thank them very much for what they do. Mr. Loderick.
I just would echo your sentiments about the departments and the officers and organizations, and thank them as well. Just remind you to remember to vote tomorrow, and other than that, end the report.
Thank you. Mr. Finance Director.
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate those officers too for being voted by the peers for those awards. That's wonderful. Today, just on the agenda, I want to touch with a basis on the annual appropriation budget. We're going to have a first reading for the 2019 budget. It's already coming up quickly. We've had already a lot of meetings with council, the department heads. This year's budget has us at the general fund at $17,061,496, and overall $37,234,836. So we'll be still continuing going over the departments and over the numbers for the next few weeks to get that finished, so that we'll finish before the end of the year and start up with this new budget in 2019. That's the end of it.
Thank you. Before we get into the council reports, I just want to read something I was given that one thing I used to enjoy when former Mayor Posick was here, and on special occasions, being a history teacher, he would give us a history lesson. So I have something here that I was given that I think is quite appropriate for the up and coming celebration. Do you ever wonder why Veterans Day is on the 11th and does not change? World War I ended on the 11th month, on the 11th day, on the 11th hour. Today I saw a man selling poppies stop a lady and asked if he could reposition her poppy. While doing so, he told that lady she should wear the poppy on their right side. The red represents the blood of all those who gave their lives. The black represents the mourning of all those who didn't have their loved ones return home. And the green leaf represents the grass and crops growing and future prosperity after the war destroyed so much. The leaf should be positioned at 11 o'clock to represent the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the time that World War I formally ended. He was worried that younger generations, I look to our scouts here, wouldn't be around, that wouldn't understand this, and his generation wouldn't be around for much longer to teach them. We must remember those from our current wars too. For those that do not know, the 11th day of the 11th month is Veterans Day. I copied this from someone else. Please do the same to pass this knowledge on to those who don't know the meaning and who care enough to know. And young men, remember that. Pass that on. How many veterans do we have here tonight? Raise your hands. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome, along with the others. Mrs. Rhodes.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for coming. Good to see you all. So first on my list, I'm very pleased to tell everyone that the Bedford Downtown Alliance got permission to do our first art project. We'll be doing it Sunday morning at 8 a.m. We will be decorating our crosswalk in our downtown area to bring more attention to it. Our hope is to put some snowflakes on the ground around the crosswalk so that perhaps we can draw some attention to it while adding a bit of whimsy to our downtown area. If this one tests well, we may start decorating that crosswalk for different times, but this is a test to see how it goes. And I invite everyone to come and join us if they would like. Again, that's Sunday on the 11th at 8 a.m. Is when we're going to be working on that. Bedford Downtown Alliance is also seeking stakeholders to help with projects to get things rolling. If you remember, we are doing a First Fridays events next year. We'll need help with that. We're also doing a chocolate walk, which will be a lot of fun. We're already getting businesses very excited about it. And frankly, I just went to Lakewood's chocolate walk just a week and a half ago. And it's really just kind of like trick-or-treating for grown-ups. So, it is a lot of fun. Ours will be much cheaper than Lakewood's. Lakewood's tickets go for $40 to $75 a piece. Ours will only be $10. Cheap date for your Valentine's Day plans. So I encourage you all to come. Mike, you did not mention anything about Ellenwood. Since we have voting there tomorrow, if you could give us an update, please.
Voting is taking place there tomorrow. Actually, all of our carpeting, all of that has been ordered. They're just waiting to finalize some of the painting, which we were doing in-house. Obviously, we want all the painting to be done before carpet's laid.
Do we have a date for when it might open?
I don't want to set a date, but we're going to
Thank you. The welcome packets will be going out soon. If you know of any renters that have moved into the area, please let either your council person know or myself. Let us know and we'll get them a welcome packet. You're also more than welcome to come pick up welcome packets yourself to deliver. We have no problem with that at all. Just need to see Annie at the front desk and she'd be more than happy to give you a welcome packet that you can give to a neighbor to welcome them to your area. Last but not least, it has come to my attention that Christmas in Bedford Falls is desperately looking for new people to help plan that event for future generations. If you're interested in helping out, it's really fun to be helpful with that particular event. It's been going on for many, many years. Dr. Wendy's done an amazing job with it over the years, and we just need some new blood to help that continue to be the amazing event that it is. If you're interested, please let me know or Dr. Wendy know. If you let me know, I'm just going to give it to Dot. But either of those people, and they'll be more than happy to get you the information on how you can help Christmas in Bedford Falls. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Spinks.
Talking about Ellenwood, I just want to give a big thank you and a shout out to Aaron and Mike and all the employees that just put on a spectacular Halloween party for the kids this year. They did things, tried a few new things and stuff, and it was really neat. It brought me back to my childhood of how, the church used to have carnivals and stuff. And also shout out to my church, the Church of Nazarene. They had a trunk or treat. The weather was bad, so they moved inside, and they had more kids than I think they expected. And our pastor was kind of disappointed because there was no leftover candy for him to eat. he was thinking on that leftover candy. So, but it was really nice to have that. There was a lot of involvement. The Historical Society, we were open again this year. We didn't have so many. I think Church of Nazarene took most of our kids away from us, which was okay. But it was still a good time there. Don't forget, voting is at Ellenwood. All the voting areas are there. Uber will be this year. Well, if you do not have a ride, I had a lady that called me today asking me if I could come pick her up because her car broke down and she wanted to get to the polls to vote. She did not absentee vote. And I was like, oh man, I just don't have time. So I was like, give me a few minutes, let me make some phone calls. And I found out that Uber, you can call them, they will not charge you, and they will get you to the polls to vote. So if you do not have a ride to get to the polls, you can get a free one from Uber. I thought that was pretty neat. So in a report.
Thank you. Mrs. Mezek.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Nice to see a nice crowd again tonight. I would like to acknowledge our fireman and police officer of the year. They all do a good job. I just need a question possibly answered by our city manager. I was told today I was paid a high compliment in regards to our fire department. I believe Chief Nagy does teaching at one of the colleges, and the young gentleman that was in his class received his degree and everything, and he is now a part-time fireman for Munson. But since he was so properly and well trained by Dave Nagy, they have moved him up to a full-time hire fire department. And I think that is good for our group, because we know we have the best fire and police departments. And I believe that our fire department is very, very professional when they get a call out to the homes. This year, Halloween was very slow in my part of work. I didn't get to go around and see everybody, but it went smoothly. The kids they were all little, under 12 years old. It wasn't too bad. We did have a couple stragglers at the end where we had drive-ups, so we had to actually correct the mothers that drove in the wrong side of the street, parked on the opposite side. It worked out well. I want to thank the police and auxiliaries for coming through. The only thing we were missing usually is a fire truck comes through, and we just kind of look forward to the guys, but they might have been busy that night. I'm sure it went good everywhere else too. As far as the leaves falling, wait a few more days before you put them on your tree lawn, not into the street, because we're gonna have rain again as usual. It's better than snow, so we don't have to clean it that much. And I think everything went well. I feel that now that the time is changing and it's darker earlier, gotta watch out a little bit more for one another and for the children that are walking around in the evening, and then have to be in the house by curfew time if it's still going on. Thank you. End of report.
Thank you. Mr. Janutus.
Thank you. I want to thank you, Heather, for the work that you do with this Bedford Downtown Alliance. I think that's a great initiative, and it's really a cool thing. You're really doing some good stuff, so I appreciate it. I'd like to thank the Eagles and the ladies group also for their kind contributions, very generous contributions, and of course, congratulations to the Officers of the Year. My word, very, very, very impressive qualifications, and of course, there's no greater honor than to be selected by your own peers, so congratulations to them. That's all, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Fluharty.
I also want to congratulate the officers that won the awards. It's my first time I went Saturday, and I was impressed with how it's being run, and of course the donations from the Eagles Club, who they take care of a lot of organizations and functions and fundraisers and anything else that you need. They're very, very cooperative. I took my wife, and she was impressed with it too. Yesterday was our 40th anniversary, and I tried to use that Saturday night as our dinner out. For some reason it didn't work, so we went yesterday, and I took her to Fleming Steakhouse and everything. We had a good time, but yeah, she wouldn't buy into that. But also welcome scouts over there against the wall. It's nice to see some new faces and new young people here show up, and I also want to remind everybody that the voting is at Villa Hearts in our ward, Ward 3, my ward. They're not going to Ellenwood. I've been getting calls from a bunch of people. Do I go to Ellenwood too? Oh no, you're not going to Ellenwood. And also the construction up on the hill with the new development of the Tesla or whoever for construction. When is that supposed to get done? Because they're actually putting the walls up finally. When that's actually going to be finalized?
No, it'll be in 19, but I don't have an exact date on that.
Oh, it will be in 19, okay.
Most likely,
They're actually
yes.
finally putting up something that makes it look like they're, getting it somewhat, going forward, let's say. Because I'm tired of seeing mud piles, and that's all we've seen since they've been there. But I'm sure Ron's here, he's probably gonna have a nice report for you on some of that stuff before it's over with. But, again, get out and vote tomorrow if you haven't voted already, and that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Mr. Saunders.
All right, we'll start out with
it's nice to see 447 here tonight. Both of my boys were in 447, so it's good to see that it's still hanging in there, even though I know the numbers have reduced significantly. So hang in there. It will set you in the right direction for the rest of your life. Getting on to the voting. If you don't like voting in Ellenwood tomorrow, make sure you call the Board of Elections so that we can get it back to the library where it worked out very well for 2 decades. It's one of those things where the voter suppression that they're causing because of eliminating voting sites, and that's what it is. It's happening all over the state. Actually, it's happening all over the country where they're eliminating voting locations to try to keep, I hate to say this, people from voting, or to try to force people into voting by mail. But having 3 wards in a building, 1 that isn't finished, and 2, are we gonna have both entrances open tomorrow, Mike? Because the western entrance isn't handicap accessible.
Just the main entrance, that is handicap accessible.
Yeah, well, be careful because the parking goes in a straight line all the way up, so parking is gonna be at a premium. I'm sure the Board of Elections will add handicap spaces to the few that we have. They used to at the library too, so, but it is going to be a little bit different and confusing, and I hope the Board of Elections put up a note on the library telling them where to go, because a lot of people that I have run into didn't even know it was being moved because that little yellow card got lost in the advertisements in the mail. So, unfortunately, I won't be at the voting pool or booth this year. It's probably the first one I've missed in 20 years. Because I'm having shoulder surgery tomorrow, but so I won't be standing out there like I normally am, even when I'm not running. So, good luck to all the candidates. Hopefully, the voters choose the ones that'll work out best for the state and the county, and hopefully we will get rid of some of the mess that the last sets of administrations for the state crippled your local communities, your schools, and the libraries for that matter. So they took all their money to balance their books instead of balancing their books with their own money. So that forced us, like a lot of other communities, to have to raise our taxes just to provide basic services. So tomorrow's an important day, so get out and vote. Don't forget, on November 11th at 11 o'clock at Veterans Park in downtown Bedford, there will be a ceremony over there, and then they move it to the cemetery at the little Veterans Park in the cemetery too. So, but it will be at 11 o'clock in downtown Bedford at Veterans Park, which is right at the crosswalk there. So, if it's open to the public, and everybody should attend. So, let's give thanks to the people who gave us the right to be able to do whatever we want, for that matter, in this country. So we can't forget them. Halloween, I don't know where you guys were at, but my Halloween, I had well over 100 kids. So it was packed by me. Now granted, it was down from last year, which we had several hundred kids, but the rain did stymie it. But it was really cute to see some of the outfits that some of the little kids had this year. A lot of them were original. They weren't just store-bought things either. So that was good to see that. So it's another one of those involvements to the community. Even though some of the kids don't live in our community, it gives, how would you say, a perspective of the community of welcoming. And that's what counts. Last Friday, I attended an all-day seminar on planning and zoning. And Mike mentioned the fact that we need to do something about our signage. The company that we've hired was there, and it's amazing to see some of the examples that they have of other communities that they did. That's been a big complaint about this community, especially from the youth and the new people that have moved in. They have no idea where anything is, because we don't advertise it, except maybe in front of the building. Well, that doesn't get you to the building. The same thing with the municipal parking lots and where the parking is, where the specific historic sites are, all kinds of things. Not to mention our court limit signs, which you can't read because they're too small, but in any case, this, hopefully we'll get the grant for this and we will be able to make our city more inviting to everyone around. The other big thing that came out of this planning and zoning conference is the small cell towers. You may have heard on the news a few weeks ago where the FCC, the federal government, has trumped all cell tower regulations over even the states. Unless, well, there's still a few of the state regs that will still apply. This takes effect in January. And if you haven't seen one of these small cell towers yet, it could be anything from a pole that's 30 to 50 feet high with a refrigerator on top and it's sitting in your front tree lawn. So, and you can't do much to stop it. So, we will look at what we can as a city, but the federal government even trumped the state on this one. So, be prepared. Everybody wants faster cell phone service to 5G. Unless you play video games, how fast is fast enough? But, you know, it gets to the point where, you know, where do you end this? But these poles can go anywhere in the public right of way, and there's not much we can do other than, they even limited the charges we can do for renting in the right of way. So it's something that's coming next year, whether you want it or not. So just to make you aware of that. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Couple things that Villa San Bernardo is the old convent is the official name. Let me give you the phone number. You can call the number and get on a list to get the information when they're ready. By law, they can only go 90 days ahead to open up registration to actually live there. But you can get on a notification list. And I'll give you the number. It's 330-928-1988. And I'll leave this up here, but so I know a lot of people are interested in that up there, which is good. So we can keep our folks in town, so you don't have to move somewhere else to get some nice living area. Also today I had a nice little chat with Dawn Rivers. She's just opened the Daybreak Yoga studio down on Broadway, right across from Cernas, next to the Dolphin. So if anybody wants to get in shape, that's the place to go. Very nice lady. She's anxious to get going, and we had a nice chat about how maybe she could help out the city with some things. So it's a good thing. Check it out if you get a break. Get some time to do it. And, you know, we've been working on the budget, as Frank mentioned, and that's a task we do every year, and we go over every line of the budget. That's all in these books here for everything that our departments want to spend. And we look at it with a fine-tooth comb. Fortunately, before we even get it, Mike and Frank and the department has really honed it down to the basics they need. So good job for all of them to do that and keep our budget in check. And it's not a real exciting thing to do, but it's probably the most important thing we do as far as having the money so we can do projects and fix our streets and pay our employees and get all the services done. So I want to thank them for doing that, and then we only have a couple more to do, so that's good news. And I think that's all I have to say. So let's get on with the new business. Ordinance number 9650-18.
Amending ordinance number 9616-18, authorizing the city manager to accept the proposal for additional repairs from Northeast Ohio Trench, GDP Group, Cerna Construction, and Tucker Landscaping at Union and Northfield Streets and declaring an emergency.
Can I have a motion for suspension by Spinks, second by Janutus? Call the roll.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
A motion for third and final by Mezak, second by Rhodes. Mike?
Thanks, Mayor. This is a project that stemmed from a sinkhole that started about 2 feet by 2 feet, and it increased to the size of about an automobile that can fit inside. We went and obtained quotes to do the repairs. If you recall, this ordinance was on a few months back. The original price was much lower. However, when we started digging, we realized that they needed additional equipment to be brought in, and they ended up going down a significant amount, which obviously upped the cost of the project. When it was all said and done, they also had to go ahead and do they needed to repair the asphalt in the parking lot that was dug up, as well as landscaping and repair to the hillside where the head wall was located. What we ended up doing is we were able to get a cheaper cost by us contracting out to a contractor to do the asphalt, and then we also contracted out to a landscape company to do the landscape repairs. So it would have been a little bit more, however, we tried to get it down as much as possible, and that's what these additional costs are for.
Thank you, Don.
Yes, I have a question. I'm sorry I missed when we went over the agenda items because of a previous commitment memorial service in Northfield Center, but the engineering services for this, I would have thought was just normal cost coverage for him or GDP for being our engineer, not to charge extra for it. What did they actually have to do that caused them to get $2,200?
It was additional engineering that had to do based on the depth of the repair that needed to be made, and then continuing out to the outfall and the repair of that head wall.
And why isn't it part of the normal city services that the city engineer covers, because that's an engineering fee that we already pay for?
Not on something like this. This was a special project, that's not covered under the contract.
Now, it should be, because we don't get any engineering services, obviously, because everything he does, he charges us for. So, all right.
All right, call the roll.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9651-18.
Declaring the property and structure located at 53 Best Street a nuisance and therefore condemning the property, ordering action, and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Rhodes, second by Saunders. Call the roll.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Motion for third and final. Spinks, second by Fluharty. Mike again.
This is a property controlled by the land bank. The land bank is trying to work through, and they have a contractor, they've had multiple contractors out on this property trying to repair the home. However, it's not going as quickly as we would like. One of the things that we fear is that the property won't get resolved. The winter months will come and then we'll be left with it. It is open on the rear of the property. They try to take down a portion of the house. What we'd like to do is really try to push and work with the land bank to try to get this addressed immediately before the weather really breaks.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9652-18.
Declaring the property and structures located at 34 Union Street a nuisance and therefore condemning the property, ordering action, and declaring an emergency.
Again, motion for suspension by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Call the roll.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Mezak, second by Saunders. Again, Mike.
This is the property located, or formerly the Moonglow. The purpose of this is to hopefully expedite the land bank to get that moved up the list to demolish immediately, since the funds have been made available through the Board of Control.
Yeah, and also to point out, we didn't sell the Winslow, as rumors were floating around. So. Would have been nice, but we haven't. Call the roll.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Mezak,
Yes.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders.
Yes.
Ordinance number 9653-18.
This is an ordinance to make appropriations for current expenses and expenditures for the city of Bedford during the year 2019 and declaring an emergency.
And we want to put this on first reading, and I believe Frank talked about that in his report. This preparation for our budget for next year. I have a motion for first reading. Spinks, second by Janutus. Call the roll, please.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Mezak,
Yes.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders.
Yes.
And we have a motion to approve the Planning Commission's recommendation of October 16, 2018 for the application of Adrian Delgado, Vapor House LLC on Vine Street, Eastlake, seeking a retail electronic cigarette store at 701 Broadway Avenue in the Historic District. The Planning Commission voted no to turn it down. So we need a simple yes or no. Yes means you agree with the Planning Commission that it's no, and no means you're not agreeing with the Planning Commission and saying yes. Kind of the opposite. Call the roll.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Mezak,
Yes.
Janutus,
No.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders.
No.
Okay, comes to that portion of the meeting for hearing of citizens. If you wish to speak, please come forward, state your name, address, and your comment.
Good evening, my name is Sarah Gennady, speaking on behalf of the Southeast Branch Library. I want to start with one piece of information that many people might not know. It just hot off the press last week. The Library Journal, which is a real scholarly journal in the library world, rates libraries. And for the 10th consecutive year, Cuyahoga County Public Library has had the highest rating, which is a 5-star rating. And not only did we keep our 5-star rating, but in terms of our budget bracket, we scored the most highest points, beating out some prestigious library districts, including Cleveland Public, Seattle, Cincinnati. We beat out San Francisco, Columbus, some powerhouses. So if you haven't come to the library or used something or don't think it's 5-star, you're missing out. There's something we need to talk, because it is nationally ranked. So, thank you. I'm not going to take all the credit for that, but thank you. And then I know last meeting we talked about this new pilot we're doing at the Southeast Branch, and some people are like, huh? A hot spot, so I brought one. So you get this, I call it the art box. It's a very sturdy box. You pop it open. There's directions. You get a charger, and you get this apparatus here. Kind of looks like an old school pager. You turn it on, and if you have a cellular device right now, I have it on, you're going to see it broadcasting a signal called Sprint Wi-Fi and a bunch of numbers. That's this baby right here. And if I press the button, it gives me the passcode, so you can't get on there without the passcode. So 10 of my favorite friends can log on to this at the same time, and we can share the same Wi-Fi network. So if you have Wi-Fi, awesome. But you can also think a little broad. And when I went out of town, I took this with me. Lifesaver. Especially if you have a small child with a tablet in the car, you now have access to YouTube and all that good stuff. So We have 3 of these currently in the system. We'll probably get more because we got that Google grant. But yeah, you should check out this hotspot. All right, on to our regular programming. Just a couple reminders. Let's see. Art experiences on Fridays at 4. That's a lot of fun. Our preschool story time. A couple special programs we have this month is we have a robotics soccer challenge in which we work with Lego. We do, and doing some Legos as well as programming with the computer. We have kind of like the movie Fantastic Beasts and how to draw them. So we have that coming up. We also have Excel 1 and 2 computer programming, and what else do I want to share? We still have our homework center going on Monday through Thursdays, and this past month was our first time becoming a dinner serving site. We served over 250 meals to youth in our community in the month of October. So if you have children in your area who you think would benefit from eating after school, which is probably all of them, they come starving. And from 3 to 3:45, the library does serve Monday through Friday, serve a bagged dinner. So that's all I have for you all. Next month, I'll come with our new program guide. Oh, and I stepped out to make a phone call about your signage. The Board of Elections is supposed to put a sign on the door as well as the parking lot. However, if it's not there at 9 p.m., the branch manager will put something up for the early voters.
Thank you.
And we already have been looking up lots of people today on where their voting location is, so we're ready to go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jeffrey Bowen, 34 Hammond. If parking is a problem at Ellenwood, they should have all the people that are out there telling people how to vote, go park in the other lot. But that's not what I wanted to say. I had a question, Mike, on the signage survey. Is that dealing just with new signs?
No, it's kind of like just a questionnaire as far as, one of the questions is, rank different areas of town that you might frequent, what streets do you frequent more. It's kind of to give them an overview. They wanted to hear it kind of from the public instead of just from us. We met with the individuals. They came in a few weeks ago, and they had already did their homework. I mean, they had a huge map of the town. They had looked at, hey, we believe, these are some of your assets. You have the parks, you have your downtown district, you have your own hospital. They were actually really surprised by all of the assets that a town of 5.5 square miles has. And, we sat down and we told them some of our signs, what we have now. We talk about, we have our 3 main gateway signs. Those are those brick signs on our main entrance points of the city. Although one of them was hit by a motorist. They actually totaled the one on Center Road. So that one's down. But we also have secondary signs at the entrances of town. Those are the black poles, and they're like almost like beige and a turquoise color. We've identified all of our park signs, which are beige and maroon. We have a pool sign, which is gold and green. There's really no consistency to it. But we also talked about, visitors going to the downtown district. We know, all of us know where the parking is, but someone may not know where the public lots are. They may not know where the public restrooms are. Personally, and I think we all agree, we probably could do a better job of showing signage for assets like Viaduct Park. We know where it's at, but a visitor probably couldn't find it. Same with some of the signs recognizing the historic district. There's actually a few. I know there's one up on Northfield Road at Northfield and Columbus. There's a couple more of those. Directional signs pointing to where the historic district is. The problem is, it's this big. A visitor's not going to see that. So what they're trying to do is they wanted to send something out just to get some information from the public and see maybe where the public might be frequenting and things like that. We identified these points on the map, and then now they're going to come back to us kind of with a plan moving forward. That'll really help us with our grant application. You know, obviously, that's what we want to try to do is secure grant
Are you
dollars.
looking at normal street sign? I think we have a lot of sign pollution in the city.
No, we're looking most likely to potentially replace gateway signs, you know, park signs, everything I mentioned, park signs, sign pointing to where the historic district is, maybe some, you know, so there's consistency. If, I can get you the information, and if you wanna take a look at like what they did, for the city of Lakewood, Kent, University Circle, those are three of the most recent ones this company's worked with. And at first, you really don't think like, you know, we're okay. When you look at that and look at really what a cohesive sign wayfinding program is really, it could be very beneficial to the city. And again, we're not looking to spend any general fund money on this. This is all grants that are out there that we think we can have a pretty good chance of getting. Jennifer in the development office started doing some of the research on them. So we figured why not work with a company like this who has a huge track record. I know there was an assessment of downtown that was done through Heritage Ohio, the DART assessment. They did acknowledge some of these things as far as downtown. You know, a random person came in and they said, we didn't know where the public parking was. You know, what is a visitor? So that's what we're looking to do. Not necessarily the street signs like Adams or Woodrow.
You go up Avery off of Northfield Road, and there's a no truck sign. Okay, so if you're driving a truck, you know you shouldn't be there. So you get up to McKinley, there's a no truck sign. It's like, well, from this far, I'm illegal already, why do I need another no truck sign? You know, we have a lot of it. It's like we have signs that say dead end and no outlet. Hello? I mean, there's a lot of that in the city. That's it. And I have a question about the tree lady.
Yeah, I drove by it. I found two of them.
Thank you.
We'll talk after.
Thank you.
Jeff Asbury, 71 Elder, a little under the weather. Could you speak on the reasoning that the planning committee gave for not allowing the vape shop to come into Bedford?
Yeah, one reason was they didn't show up.
Oh. I guess that might
They
be a
were
good reason.
duly notified, they knew when the meeting was. And, another factor I think played into it is the state is looking at new regulations on the vape cigarettes, or whatever you want to call them. Because they're finding out those things are even worse for you than cigarettes, so. But I think that's one of the delays was the new legislation and the fact that they didn't show up.
Yeah, I'm Ron Valentik, 1197 Edgewood. I was at the last meeting and I did not get my crosswalks painted. Right there by the bingo hall, the old one at the convent. Now you got signs out there that's over 100 feet apart. If somebody gets hit, they're gonna get them for jaywalking. There's no white lines. And the sign they have there is crooked. There's no way they're gonna have to do some alteration to put a crosswalk in there. Am I right or wrong? Did you look at it yet?
Yeah, I was up there.
So what do you think? That sign, you can't have a crosswalk going into a driveway, the parking lot. What do you think?
I'm sorry?
I said, what do you think about it?
I mentioned the last time what I thought.
Yeah, you said you were gonna check it out.
I did, and I also told you that the gentleman running that place gave a plan over time of how they're gonna deal with the pedestrians. They made some efforts, they put some of the signs up. I think he's making the progress that needs to be made there.
Uh-huh. Here's another thing. Ever since Mike Bukar died, we lost the Tree City. We want to make Bedford great again.
No, we didn't. We still.
We don't have it, do we?
We've just received that award this year again. We've received it every year.
Yeah, but they're not planting no trees.
We're not planting trees because we took the planting of the trees that
Well,
was
then
taken
we
out of
lost
the
the Tree
budget.
City.
Again, I think.
Am I right or wrong?
No matter what I say, I don't think I'm gonna be right. I think you're gonna be right with what you say, so we'll just leave it at that.
Okay, here's another thing. How come they fixed the railroad tracks on Richmond Road by the landfill, and they won't fix the one here by Walgreens, the Bedford train?
Well, there isn't a Bedford train. We don't own a train.
Well, it goes
Actually-
through Bedford, the Solon, and Glen Willow. Okay? They fixed the one right up there by the Park Road on Richmond. Did you ever drive on the one here by,
Every day.
the board's junk?
Every day I drive.
That's the one they got plans to come back and fit it. They were gonna do it.
But they did theirs already. They shut the road down for about a week or two.
They didn't do anything. They gotta come back and redo it.
Listen,
And, the railroad's aware of it. They'll be back, they'll be back.
here's another thing. 50 years ago, we used to clean the sidewalks. All you have to do is buy snow blowers. That's what you use for the city hall here in the Bedford Square. Bedford Heights cleans their sidewalks. We're the only city that don't help the seniors. Bedford Heights plows for seniors, citizens, Oakwood, and Walton Hills. Bedford's obsolete. You know?
Yes,
What do you think?
Because then they could do mine. I have 300 feet of sidewalk, so that would be good.
Well, we used to do it 50 years ago.
We did.
We
And
want to make Bedford great again.
if you heard the stories of them poor guys that were driving those bombardiers.
Yeah.
People beating them with snow shovels and throwing stuff at
I
them.
will add to it that it seemed like a good idea with the bombardiers, but, you know, every spring, every one of those residents was calling when we were out there planting grass, and they had an issue with the grass that was tore up with that snow blower and that snow machine. Unfortunately, it wasn't a feasible, with the manpower that we have, it was not a program that could be sustained. That's the
Yep.
bottom line.
But your grass here don't get tore up. Who does it, Billy? The square looks real nice, the lawn. City Hall here, the lawn's nice. You gotta use a snow blower. It don't eat up grass. Am I right or wrong?
You asked yourself that question.
I've had these mayors that do that stuff, and they said, whatever you do, don't start the program, because it's such a headache for them.
So we still have the Tree City.
Yes.
But I don't see the signs up. They took them all down. Am I right or wrong? I don't see none. And I want to know why on the police cruisers, we used to have Proud to Serve. They took them off.
Yeah,
The other cities have them, but we don't. They got 1837, well, they put that decal on the hood. You know? What do you think?
I think it's the guys that design their own vehicles there, so.
Yeah, but we have some vehicles, brand new ones, unmarked. Are they supposed to be unmarked?
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you a break.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Scouts, do you have any questions? Oh, I'm sorry. Come on up and then we'll get to the scouts.
I can wait for the scouts. I'm right or wrong. I like to say that recently I had a conversation with my board representative, Don, and it comes to one of your, I think your earlier points about street lighting. And he has addressed it for me, and I appreciate it, Don. But what you have said, had I known that information, I could have taken that upon myself. And I think it'd be worthwhile to put this in our little flyers that comes out in the water department, whatever that little thing is, that comes out. And let everyone know, hey, you see street lights that need to be serviced, this is where you can, on your own, take this initiative. Because I would have been happy to do so. Well, what also comes to mind in what you have said is that there are moments where I guess there is a patrol, so to speak, that goes out and looks for these particular lights that may be in need of repair. They're missing my area. And one of the concerns I explained to Don is not only is the lights out, but when they're on, there's trees that are blocking the illumination. And that is something that bothers me, that if just a normal police officer or a ward person who's driving through the area should take it upon himself to go ahead and report this. I'll be happy to do this, but this is something that's available to everyone here. And I think if we took it upon ourselves to go ahead and be more proactive, once again, we could solve some issues here. Now I want to move on to something else, if I may. I had a nice experience not too long ago when I was in downtown Cleveland. I was at the county treasurer's office, and I was taking care of some business, and I was greeted by the mayor. The mayor came up to me, out of nowhere, surprised me, and it was a very nice surprise. He didn't have to do that. He was among the group of other mayors that were down there trying to gather information about what could be done to make their communities better. And I thought about it for a while, and I said, you know what? That was very nice. He did not have to do that. He left me feeling important. So thank you. I appreciate it. But I want to move on to something else. Like I said, really I was surprised by the mayor. And I did tell him that I had some things on my mind I wanted to talk about. I want to preface that I have some questions, some concerns, and it's not regarding how you should handle your responsibility. I am sure that many items on the city to-do list, much have already been done, and there are many they're in the process of being done. I would like to say I chose Bedford as a place to call home for many reasons. The variety of businesses that Bedford has, the quality of life, the location of the community, the surrounding communities, how they viewed Bedford at the time I decided to move here, was very positive. And they also had a good school system. Although the state has ranked Bedford schools at the bottom of the D's and F's, and this has been going on for some time, I have come to see why Walton Hills had expressed their concerns wanting to leave the Bedford school systems. It would be better for me to address this concern, I understand, with the school superintendent. But I end this note by saying this. There is much proof that businesses, families, when considering a community, prefer coming to a community that has a good school system. And I'll leave it on that particular note. Let me stop once again. I do not claim to be accurate in my concerns, nor do I claim I have the answers or to suggest that this is some way rests with just you only. I am not here to get a response from anyone. I am a concerned member of this community, period. Change. Why should I deal with change? Or why should any of us deal with change? Might be better to say the answer is because change is coming. And change is always coming. It does not wait for us. Let me just go down a list of what I have seen change. Some of you will laugh. You know what? You got time. You're not dying yet. You got time. Well, there's the door. There's the door, young man. You got the door, young man, and I got the voice here.
Yeah, you do.
And I'm sorry that you do not want to wait to what I have to say.
Well, you haven't lived here long enough to know what.
You know what, some of us may not live here
Gentlemen,
long enough, okay?
gentlemen,
But you are not going to tell me that I do not have the right to talk.
Well, I didn't come out and say that, but I'm.
But you are not going to tell me my time is up.
Yeah, okay.
Then that, we'll leave it at that.
Have a nice day.
I hope that you will too.
Gentlemen,
Okay, as I said, some of you may laugh, because some of the things I have said really does date me. And it regarding the businesses that have been here. TJ Maxx, KFC, St. Pius, Chanel, St. Mary's, Walmart, Target, Gold Circle, Woodcraft, Applebee's, the bowling alley at, over there on Rockside, the Dairy Queen, the YMCA, and many others. Some of these come to mind because I really thought there was an anchor to what really made Bedford great. Particularly when you could think about the Dairy Queen. I recall going by there, particularly during the summertime, and enjoyed seeing where the little leagues would meet there to have their little treats. And I thought that was really great. I thought that, that the school system of St. Pius and Chanel and St. Mary's were very good school systems. But there's many things that cause them to go away. Probably because the people that are members of those churches, they're not as large as they used to be to support it. But change is coming. The community is getting older. I don't see much youth coming in. And when the youth comes in, many of them are renters. They are not serious about the involvement and awareness. I see the senior citizen quality of life and safety a concern for me personally. Many seniors go to great lengths to stay in their home, and they do a pretty darn good job of maintaining their property, considering they're seniors. But I had experience going over to the Rockside Road, where there's Valleyfield and Woodside, and I'm ashamed of what's going on over there. Those buildings and how they're treating those people over there is a shame. That's like a slumlord, and I would wish that the city could do something about it. More renters and landlords that don't buy in our community, that is a shame. Let me change the topic again. Let's talk about snow, because it's on its way. Last year, Bedford did a wonderful job in terms of how to remove snow. I saw the service just being great. But I also noticed something else. At the end of the year, there's a lot of patchwork to be done. And when I see the patchwork, there seems to always be a lip on there. And I'm saying when the clouds come by, they're going to pop that up, and sure enough, they pop that lip up on that patch, and we're right back to the same thing again. I don't know if it's not a cure, but it seems like it's rigged to me. The police department, from what I hear and see, the staff of the police department has interacted with the public in a professional way. I have not heard of maybe any misconduct, and I'm happy to say that because many police departments throughout our country seem to maybe have a problem in terms of how they interact, particularly with the minorities. And I have not heard this as being the case with the Bedford Police Department. I do take the time to encourage the police department to do a couple of things. To pay attention to drivers that I see operating their vehicles in a manner that may impact the public safety. For example, cell phones. I tell you what, this is ridiculous, how people give more priority to their cell phones versus really understanding the public safety. Running red lights. And turning when they know there's a sign posted saying no turns. They go right ahead and just turn anyhow. And I would encourage also for the police department to address these cars that are parked in driveways that extends all the way out and block the sidewalks. I enjoy walking on sidewalks, and I don't think I need to be put out into the street to get around a car. If I'm seeing it, I don't know why the police is not seeing it and addressing it, because I see it just happening over and over again. There is much that Bedford has. We have a post office, we have a hospital that has many historical facts. We have an RTA system that has 3 different routes that runs through this community. That is something in itself that many communities do not have. And they have many residents who care about Bedford. I do wish we had a local newspaper, though. I do miss it very much.
We kind of do. We're trying to get launched. It's the Bedford Tribune. Sorry.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that because what I am seeing is very biased. does not address what I think is adequately what should be said about the Bedford. But I will say that, yes, let's have a Bedford newspaper. We do need the face to change with a plan. Being proactive, not reactive. And I thank you for your time. Goodbye. I'm sorry for that little interaction.
Sir, we need your name and address for the record.
Oh, no problem. J. Watson, 40 Bourbon.
Thank you.
Sure.
Appreciate your comments. Anyone else?
Oh, I have no problem with it. No, it's all good. Hey, how you guys doing? Take care.
Hi folks, my name is Mary Burge. I live on 1302 Carroll Drive. My question is the rec center, and I know you guys don't want to hear it, but I have been senior president for going on 7 years there. And all I've been getting is telephone calls from all the members who want to drop out because they don't like this business if we can't have our entertainment in that like we used to. It's been a long time. And I think that it should be over with by about now. I mean, this is crazy. And one thing I want to know is, we have a senior exercise class. We moved to the church, yes, when it first started, and we're trying to get back into the rec center. All we use is the cafeteria, the way we do for our meetings, and poor Patty can't get back in there. But yet, the other people are going in there, they have their meetings there and everything. What is the problem with Patty having her exercise class there?
I can touch base with you afterwards about it.
Okay, because I know she has called a couple times and she don't get no answers. Plus the fact that we had a lot of programs like we were doing, which the seniors are supposed to be having. That's why we have the club. We never finished our Wii bowling because we were bowling here and they told us we couldn't bowl anymore because we didn't have the time to bowl here. Last Wednesday, 3 different people called me trying to get the bus to pick them up to bring to the meeting, and we can't get through down here to our department. I left messages on the phone and everything. And finally, Mike, believe me, I love Mike, I love Aaron. I know it's not their problem. I mean, they're just as anxious to get back in there as we are, you know. But I can't understand what the problem is. I don't know what to tell these people anymore.
I can talk with you, that's fine. We're trying to get in as quickly as possible. And this was, when we talked about this, and Frank and I think the members of council that have still been on there, we budgeted this project. I think we started budgeting to take care of the asbestos in Ellenwood 17 years ago, Frank?
I know it's been a long time.
It's never been addressed. It had to be addressed. It had to be gutted like that. There was no way around that.
Right.
We've positioned it to a time where we're not spending, where we don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it. We piggyback the project, so all of the electrical has been paid for out of the grant. We've maximized every ounce of capital that we have in our budget to not do certain things. If it's replace a backstop at a field, we've positioned it here to pay for the carpeting. All of the painting was going to be done in-house. I don't want to get into personnel topics about that, but right now there wasn't a personnel individual. The painting should have been done, a couple weeks ago. I can't control injuries. I can't control that it's leaf season. I'm not going to postpone the lighting of downtown. These are issues. We could go out and we can contract someone that's going to charge us $12,000 to paint, but we have able bodies to do that.
Yeah.
We don't have the budget to do that. So that's where we're at. I can get into some of the specifics if you'd like to talk about our schedule. Carpet's been ordered. We're not going to put the carpeting in until it's painted.
Well, I
Listen,
understand
we've all painted. I get paint all over myself when I paint. The last thing I want to do is spend $7,000 on all new carpeting and then if they have paint in.
Right.
So
I understand
all
that.
of those things are where we're waiting to go. As far as like letting other outsiders come in, we've tried to stay consistent. To say, listen, if someone didn't have something already approved, we won't take any applications or programming until after the first of the year. We started saying that probably 3 or 4, well, actually it's been probably 4 months ago, because we all know what'll happen. Well, wait a minute, Bob was in there with his event. Well, Bob's not in there, why can't I be in there? Well, wait. Anthony had their event, so it's hard to pick and choose, and it's not fun to do that. We're trying to get through this as quickly as possible. I can talk to you afterwards as far as the exercise and things like that, for sure.
Yeah.
But those are
I'm
some.
just meaning, we've been there I've been exercising with Patty for almost 5 years now. And we were always there, and all of a sudden we can't come exercise.
Well, like I said, it's one of those things where at some point, that stuff it got to the point where it's one thing when asbestos is covered.
Yeah.
That's fine. It was fine for that for a long, long time. Right. But when the ceiling starts falling, that cannot happen.
Yeah.
And that's where it was.
That.
What a lot of people don't see is they don't see the gym. It wasn't in the gym.
No, it wasn't in there, and that's where we are.
But it was but the reason we had to do the project is because it was in the kitchen, it was in an area in the hallway, it was in room 1, it was in room 2, and there was a section in room 5 where the ceiling started to fall off.
Yeah.
That asbestos became exposed, and we needed to tear it all out.
Yeah, I understand that, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that why can't the seniors get back into the cafeteria? That's the only place we were. We have 25 people in the exercise class. We exercise in the cafeteria. And I know we paid to go to the church for our program for the seniors this summer and that until we had to leave there because they didn't have room for us anymore. They had other projects going on. So, everybody's calling me and it's such an uproar that I just want to know what we can do, or that.
We'll address it. I'll talk with you afterwards.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? So let me ask the scouts, you're here for your government badge or whatever you call it, or civic badge, what is it?
Citizenship in the community, Mayor.
Citizenship. We appreciate you guys being here. Any questions for us? You got it all down? Want to go to bed? It's kind of boring in government sometimes, but thank you guys for being here. And nobody else? Have a motion for adjournment by Spinks, second by Janutus. Call the roll.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezek?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Thank you all for coming.